Hello YouTube, Savage here. So welcome into part 7 of my No Livestock challenge run in Stardew Valley. So the community center is almost done and things are really slowing down on that end. So in this part, as the title implies, we'll mostly be covering tying up a whole bunch of loose ends, maybe working towards some stretch goals and such, as we wait for the last things we need for the community center, such as the elusive duck feather and the remaining amount of milk we need. Hopefully I can complete it year 1, but that's not a guarantee. If I get lucky, then maybe, but we'll see. Of course, this is the goal, the restrictions, all that stuff as before. I awakened to a lucky day. A perfect day to go mining. But for now, I tend to my farm machines, harvest crop, pet my orange tabby Frumpkin, with no duck feather drop, sadly. The usual stuff. Afterwards, I buy a bunch of bombs from the dwarf and decide to do a skull cavern dive. Lacking a desert warp totem, I have Pam drive me there. You're awesome, Pam. I traded the desert trader for some warp totems and a few more bombs, pop my buff food and drink, then head in. I focus on collecting more stone and iridium while possibly finding treasure rooms. On floor 41, an iridium node drops a prismatic shard when I blow it up. Can't say no to that. I'm also pretty successful in getting a bunch more stone to build more farm buildings or machines, and iridium ore to upgrade my pickaxe and other tools even more. Situations and clutch parries later, I eventually run out of bombs but still have a stack of staircases. I decided to make the push to floor 100. And I get there. It's a guaranteed treasure room. Unfortunately, the treasure isn't great, but oh well. Clearly, I'm more than capable to reach floor 100 again for the smug Mr. Key. And I go deeper, finding another prismatic shard on floor 112. After getting well over 150 pieces of iridium ore, I passed out on floor 115. We also reached level 8 combat, and are now able to craft explosive ammo, another solid option for Skull Cavern runs. We also reached level 10 mining, choosing the blacksmith profession, very nice for making lots of money from those excess gold and iridium bars. I woke to a rainy, bad luck day. Turns out Linus saved me from deep in the Skull Cavern somehow. I don't know how, but I greatly appreciate it. You're awesome, Linus. I did the usual farm tasks and transferred a few more empty preserve jars into the shed. I decided today was the day to build my mill, so I went to see Robin. After a cute scene and getting a bit more wood, the mill would be on the farm in just a few short days. I spent most of the rest of the day in the early floors of the mines to kill bugs for Willy. I found some gems like jade, topaz, and aquamarine too, which was nice. It was unremarkable otherwise. I headed home and got ready for bed. Overnight, there was a windstorm, opening up the whole raccoon side quest, which isn't too relevant for us, unfortunately. I started this lucky day by dismantling a few kegs and preserve jars to transfer them into the shed as usual. Lewis also sent me a letter saying that Spirit's Eve was tomorrow. Also, more oak resin was ready, meaning more kegs. Nice! I harvested the crops, especially the wheat, but since it was so late in the season, there's no sense planting any more outdoors. At this point, I've more or less fully automated watering. Also, I thought about decorating my farm now that the foundation of my wine empire is now in place. After some decorating, I head to the traveling cart. Unfortunately, she didn't have anything important this time. She did, however, have a 5 stack of leeks, though George's birthday was yesterday, lol. I chopped some hardwood in this nearby secret woods, but I ran out of inventory space, so I wasn't able to carry them. But there were a lot of forageables, so I made it work. It might be a good idea for me to build a second shipping bin by the greenhouse going forward. I unloaded a lot of stuff back at the farm, and I accidentally sold some wheat that I could have used to make more wheat flour. Whoops! Not a big deal, since I could grow more in the greenhouse anyways. On my way to the shed to brew some coffee, Frumpkin got in the way again, but only briefly. He's so cute, but so annoying sometimes. When done, I went back to mining to grab bug meat for Willy. I get pretty lucky with an amethyst drop from a slime. Floor 24 also goes pretty well with repeatedly spawning bugs, and a random gem node containing a ruby. A little later on floor 26, after a lucky double staircase drop, we collect the last piece of bug meat we need. I head back to the farm and grab a couple warp totems and the rest of the bug meat to deposit by Willy's shop. I then beachcomb a bit, then warp back and end the day with a sizable payday. I awoke to a lucky Spirit's Eve. I did the usual stuff, and also plucked the fairy rose since no more honey would be produced over winter. I built more kegs and harvested more wheat in the greenhouse. After I was done, I headed to the desert. I head to Sandy, who was thankfully still open, and grabbed the weekly milk and loaded up on more starfruit seeds. I traded for a handful of bombs and did a quick skull cavern dive. On floor 5, I get a lucky immunity band ring from a crate. On the same floor, I find a shaft that goes down a whopping 15 floors. I land in a treasure room and find some more cherry bombs. Not bad at all. I also find a prehistoric floor on floor 44. Normally I skip these types of floors since the in-game time moves faster on them for some reason. I end up in some pretty scary situations too. Makes sense considering it's spooky season in-game. I get down to floor 60, which is quite lucrative and tempts me to stay in the skull cavern longer, but I go ahead and go to Spirit's Eve once I'm in a tight spot, literally. I buy the witch rarecrow, as well as the jack-o'-lantern and its recipe. I then navigate the maze, seeing Abigail again, heading through the false wall by Sam. I head home, put out my new decor, make a few diamond crystallariums. Or is it Crystallaria? I don't know. And head to bed. Oh yeah, and very appropriate Spooky Moon Easter egg too. I love Halloween, Spirits Eve, it's great. I awoke to a neutral rainy day, doing my usual tasks like my final fall harvest of the season. That includes my giant pumpkin that grew overnight. That's very cool. Frumpkin also blocks me on the way to my fridge again, lol. So I give up on that for now. Silly cat. I planted the starfruit in the greenhouse and then checked the traveling cart. She didn't have anything required, but I guess the 5 stack of quality sprinklers and truffle oil was nice. I did one last trip for the season to the secret woods too. I then visited Clint to turn in my pickaxe to upgrade it to iridium. Then I got the prize ticket for completing Willie's special order, and after Emily's clothing therapy, I redeem it for a fish smoker. Prize tickets and special orders won't be relevant from this point forward. I picked up a chair from the museum as well, but Frumpkin being Frumpkin prevents me from placing it, lol. I also noticed that my mill is ready at last, and I eventually go to bed and begin winter. From this point, progress toward the No Livestock Challenge Run slows down considerably, so I'll pick up the pace to compensate. Over the winter, I use the seed makers to propagate wheat, the greenhouse to grow it, and mill a bunch of wheat into wheat flour. Eventually I'll have 100 wheat flour, right? On winter 1st, I find the holly outside Clint's as I check the progress of my iridium pickaxe. We then donate the holly as the final item in the winter foraging bundle, completing the crafts room and locking the quarry. Heck yeah, just the bulletin board? The doozy remains. That same day, while I struggle with him for a while, I also catch the glacier fish. I also join a seance with Abby before adding the glacier fish to the community center fish tank. Well, now's a good time to take care of some stretch goals, right? On winter 2nd, I collect 87 wheat flour from my mill. I then pick up my iridium pickaxe and drop off my axe to be upgraded to iridium next. I head to the quarry and find 2 diamond nodes very close to each other. Wow, what are the chances of that? I find enough powder melon seeds as an option for the Winter Star bundle, and plant them in case I need to donate them to the community center. By winter 3rd, I found enough Hollywell foraging to donate to the community center anyways. Well, so much for the powder melons. We complete the Winter Star bundle. Only the 2 hardest bundles left. I also caught a lava eel to later use in a future fish pond for more profit. I also continue to decorate my farm, beginning to add in cool weathered flooring. On winter 4th, I transfer the remaining kegs in my house into my shed for my ancient fruit wine empire. I then head to Clint to pick up my iridium axe and upgrade my trash can to gold. Linus does a polar bear swim in the lake, and the secret woods was clearly the place to go for Holly earlier, lol. Or maybe I just wanted to test my new axe, I don't know. On the 5th, the traveling cart had nothing. On the 6th, I picked up my gold trash can from Clint and turned in my hoe to upgrade next. As artifact spots trolled me, I went to Robin's to upgrade my shed too. I picked up starfruit seeds as well as the weekly free milk from Sandy. On the 7th, the traveling cart had nothing once again. On the 8th, the ice fishing festival came and went. I won, though. On the 9th, I pick up my new shiny gold hoe from Clint and choose to upgrade my trash can to iridium. I also find Abigail trying to head into the mines and comfort her. Overnight, we reach level 10 foraging and pick the awesome botanist profession. On the 11th, I had gotten enough wheat flour together to donate it all toward the home cooks bundle. I picked up my iridium trash can from Clint as well. All that's left is just the 10 milk and the duck feather now. That's it. On the 12th, the traveling cart didn't have anything. Amusingly though, she had an egg, which I no longer needed. A little late to the party there. I bought a couple books, Squidfest came and went, and got more milk and starfruit from Sandy the following Saturday. The traveling cart had nothing on the 14th, but the night market was coming, so there was still hope. Before then though, remember that plan that I was talking about last episode to get the duck feather without relying on luck? Well, here's the plan. We need to earn 1 million gold to buy the Statue of Endless Fortune, which in theory could produce a duck feather on summer 26th, Leo's birthday. Just in case I didn't find it on the traveling cart soon. I'll try and get it near one, but you never know. As such, I started the quest to enter Mr. Key's casino and earn enough money for the statue on time. I checked the night market traveling cart. The first night she is nothing important. As I head to the night market after unsuccessful beachcombing, I give Caroline a love fish taco, then pull the band-aid off. The traveling cart has a whopping 5 stack of milk, which I completely buy out. Heck yeah. The following day I donate all the milk, and we complete the home cooks bundle. Only the duck feathers left to finish the challenge. We're almost there. And it may be possible to do in year 1, just like I said. I mean, we'll see, that's up to luck, not up to me. In the meantime, let's take care of some stretch goals. For one, I'll use a rain totem to make it rain on the 23rd, the only way to get rain in winter. I also upgraded the house at Robin's, and I bought the mermaid's pendant to give to Abby to propose. The Feast of the Winter Star comes, and I'm the secret gift giver of Pam. And Penny, her daughter and my first Stardew love, is my secret gift giver, and she gives me a beer. No coveted tea set, but still not bad. Amusingly, Pierre is selling duck eggs, and unfortunately I can't present Abby the mermaid's pendant at the festival. Aww. On the 26th, I proposed to Abigail, giving her her favorite gemstone, followed by the mermaid's pendant. That and our wedding would be New Year's Day, effectively. Surprisingly, Pierre isn't busy despite it being Boxing Day. On the 27th, I meet the only furry character in this game other than Hatmouse. I consider getting another house upgrade, but realize I really need the money for the statue and the galaxy hammer. I added a new shed for my crystallariums, or is it crystallaria? I don't know. Decorate, and further optimize my sprinkler setup. On the 28th, the traveling cart didn't have anything important, so with the good daily luck, I did a deep skull cavern dive to level 100, impressing Mr. Key by doing it the honorable way. I made it a handful more floors before passing out at 2 AM. Then all of a sudden, I was getting married to Abigail. I wouldn't have it any other way. And also Kent has arrived, and rip your one community center completion officially, oh well. For the next while, I plant and tend to my crops, and Frumpkin wants attention and gets in the way now and then, but otherwise I get my empire more or less in full swing. Sometimes people still catch me digging through trash, but I give them a gift and they forget about it soon enough. I continue to decorate my farm, as well as work on my stretch goals. Which, yeah, that one's ticked off. I have officially gotten married. In another note, I find it so ironic that I'm a bird and I'm having such trouble finding a feather. I mean, I can't just pluck out my own, that wouldn't work. I'm not a duck, I'm a Wind Waker Wizzrobe, right? On spring the 3rd, I turned my watering can and get a very rare prismatic shard drop from a slime. Nice! Also, someone threw jade away. Who even does that? If only I had that luck with the duck feather I was trying to get, right? On the 5th, the traveling cart had nothing important, but I picked up my new fully upgraded watering can. I then turned in the final starting tool, my hoe, to get upgraded as well. And that should be the last starting tool fully upgraded to iridium. On the 7th, the same day I picked up my fully upgraded iridium hoe. The traveling cart didn't have the duck feather, but she did have an egg again, lol. On the night of the 10th, I managed to hook the legend and I struggled for a couple minutes easily. But I finally managed to catch him. One more legendary fish left, the mutant carp in the sewers. On the 11th, I had a new section of my farm by the mill and placed some sprinklers. I also buy a few books and find and place a hairbone on Frumpkin. On the 12th, I get some amusing dialogue from Abigail, but an unamusing drop from Frumpkin. Nothing on the traveling cart was important either. The Egg Festival was also a lot of fun, and of course I brought more strawberries. Not only that, I won against my own wife. days upon days passed without anything important at the traveling card, but I did buy some rare seeds for profit. Not even the Desert Festival had the duck feather, though I did get a new outfit. With all the mining I've been doing lately, it definitely fits. I gave Abby a spicy eel before a skull cavern dive, and she gave me a star drop in return. Worth it. The dives went pretty well, with a max egg rating of 15. On the 19th, I finally bought the Galaxy Hammer. This would be the final expensive purchase before the Statue of Endless Fortune. Worth it though for any future Skull Cavern dives, since iridium bars are so valuable. I had also greenlit Abigail and I having a baby together. On the 22nd, she gave birth to a baby boy whom I named Tingle, since her guinea pig is named David Jr., and I'm a Wind Waker Wizzrobe. I mean, the Wind Waker references are everywhere right now. I also claimed farming mastery and earned the Iridium Scythe. Of course I danced with Abby during the flower dance too. On the 25th, I built a new fish pond to put the legend in. On the 28th, I nearly finished the Mr. Key quest for the club card to the casino, to finish it the following day instead. I welcomed the summer and all of its money crops like starfruit, blueberries, melons, and red cabbages. I also put the legend in a new fish pond to produce the most expensive roe in the game. I hope I'm on track to hit 1 million gold before summer 26 with my ancient fruit wine empire. Oh cool. On summer 3rd I noticed a mushroom tree on my farm. Don't mind it at all. In addition, I claim mining mastery. The next day I upgrade my furnaces and put kilns in my second shed. On the 8th, Tingle is eatable, so I do so before heading back to the grind. Over halfway there, whoa, living on a prayer, I guess. Just have to keep it up. Year 2's luau is here. I eat Tingle and grab a gold star cauliflower I saved for the potluck. After a Gen AI spam phone call, loading dehydrators, and planting more greenhouse blueberries, I attend the festival, drop in the Gold Star cauliflower, and everyone loves it. On the 13th, I claimed the super handy foraging mastery. On the 15th, I opened some golden mystery boxes and find an animal cracker, which technically works on fish ponds. I toss it in the Legends pond for even more profit. But it isn't even necessary, honestly. Upon a trip to the mines and passing out at 2 a.m., it happens. We get a massive payday from all the starfruit, ancient fruit, and sweet gem berries, and with all that, we break the barrier. On summer 16th, we reach 1 million gold in current funds. On the way, I thank Sandy for all the milk with a gift. With the club card in tow, we can now buy the statue from the shady guy in the corner. I go home and place it as well as the funny gold Lewis statue in my house. So that's what the tax money went to. Green Rain Day comes and goes on the 18th. On the 19th, I buy and read a ton of books from the traveling cart to reach the next mastery faster, and buy Abby's portrait. I also give Demetrius Loved Bean Hot Pot, produced by the statue, for his birthday. Not to mention a rare book drop in the mines. Tingle begins crawling, Robin adds a wine cellar, the trout derby comes and goes, and I catch the final legendary fish, the mutant carp. That's that stretch goal completed now. We also gained fishing mastery. On the 24th, the Statue of Endless Fortune produces a diamond, perfect for Willie's birthday. We now fast forward to the 26th, the fabled Leo's birthday where the statue would spawn the duck feather. And it spawns an iridium bar instead? Huh, that's weird. Okay, I reason out that the problem is because we haven't met Leo yet. If we did meet Leo, the duck feather would appear. Unfortunately, because Leo's on Ginger Island, which requires community center completion for this challenge, this whole plan was unfortunately a bust. Oh, rip a million gold. Oh well, it's fine. I guess we will have to rely on luck for the duck feather after all. Ironic though, because I'm a bird. Abigail and I watched the moonlight jellies dance together as summer faded into our favorite season, fall. Turns out, though, I didn't have to wait much longer. Because on the 5th of fall, it was that fateful day when I checked the traveling cart for the last time for this challenge run. I did my usual task before then, just so you can see what my farm looks like. Yep, there it is at long last. I bought the duck feather as the last item needed for the dye bundle and the community center in general. After a cutscene showcasing Lunas and Marnie's secret relationship, we donate the duck feather, completing the community center and the whole goal. We did it! No duck needed. In fact, no animals needed. And there we go, guys. We did it. In addition, we also hit many of the stretch goals. Not all of them. Unfortunately, I didn't get all the 5 masteries. I got 4 out of 5, all except for combat, so we got pretty close there. I technically didn't get 2 kids, but I got 1, which is that's still something, so I'll count that as done for the purposes of this. But yeah, we'll have fun. Just watch Pierre punch the lights out of Morris right there, punch him through the roof. That's always a fun little cutscene. But again, guys, if you enjoyed this, of course, please like and subscribe. And in addition, I do have other challenge run videos coming in the future as well, so I had a couple other ideas. I think the next one will be one where I buy no seeds, relying on mixed seeds and stuff. That will be kind of interesting. But anyways, guys, I'll leave it here for now. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye!